Join me today as we talk about a show on Paramount Plus, Landman. This is the Geek Cabal channel. My name's Bobbie, and today we're going to be talking about a show that's a little out of the normal beaten path for what we talk about on here, because we mainly talk about like sci-fi, fantasy stuff, and this is more drama, I guess, real life. I don't know where you'd want to go with this as far as what you'd call it. I think drama is probably what you want to call it. It's called Landman. It's on Paramount Plus. Now, I'm recording this on the 16th. I didn't watch the episode yet. It should have come out yesterday. So I've seen the first 5 episodes, I think. I think it's supposed to be 10 episodes this season. But I blitzed them out over the last few days, and the show is excellent. I can't sing its praises high enough. Now, you got to like certain things to like this show, but I think it's pretty good. And I apologize that I cannot remember character names. Like, it takes me a while of watching things to really remember character names. So I apologize for that. Maybe if I do like an in-season wrap-up, which I probably will, we'll talk about it. I'll try to remember the names, or I'll write them down. I mean, I got notes for other videos, so why not? But yeah, so the main character is played by Billy Bob Thornton. And he's in like rare form here. This is him like 110%. He plays a character who's referred to as a landman, and he's essentially like a general manager coupled with like a fixer. And he works for an oil company. I'm sure it's a fictional company, and his boss is played by John Hamm. He's the CEO of the company, and he's got a pretty easy job for this show, which is basically sit around, wear suits, show up in board meetings and at his house with his wife, who's played by Demi Moore. I didn't immediately recognize her, had to look up who it was, but cause she hadn't had a lot of airtime yet. I'm kind of hoping she does. I think she's a decent actress, so I'm hoping to see more of her. But essentially, Billy Bob, calls him with various problems. They kind of got to bounce back ideas back and forth, and Billy Bob's got to implement the solutions. And they're working in oil country. They're in Texas, so he's having to deal with employees getting killed. Like, by this point in the show, 4 employees have already died, and we've only met like 9 or 10 employees. So, and they point out that like this is a very high risk job because it's oil wells, it's oil work. Like the 3 in the first episode get blown up, like they're gone like that, and it's a believable situation. One guy gets his hand crushed, because heavy duty machinery, like shit like that happens. So it's real like that. I will say, on a for purposes of representation, we'll put it that way, there are a number of Hispanic characters, and what you'd expect, in Texas near the border, and they are presented as 3-dimensional characters. They're not just like gangbangers or anything like that. You've got your oil workers, you got your cartel guys, and they're all like, it's obvious that they all have character to them. Even ones that are only in an episode. You can tell that like these feel like real people that have real backstories and other interests, which is great because I know people go on about representation a lot, and like I've said before, I accept that it's an important thing for people, to see people look like them, and to have people to look up to and things like that. But one thing is that if you notice, Hispanics in general are underrepresented in American productions. And Asians basically don't exist. Like, they're wildly underserved, along with like Native Americans. And so to see this and to see it as a positive depiction, as opposed to like Law and Order, where 3/4 of the Hispanic characters are literally just gangbangers, like it's a nice change of pace. Even though some of them are cartel guys, like, again, you can tell like there's more to them. So, that's it's nice to see that. And so Billy Bob, like I said, he's been involved in like all these things, and like it literally opens up with him as a hostage of the cartels. Who are like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Well, I'm here to get you to sign this contract so we can drill oil here on your land." And so ultimately, he resolves things with the cartel guy, and he's like, "Look, we're in the same business. Like, we've got a product that people find indispensable. It's like ours is just much, much bigger than yours. Like, that's all there is to it." And he's like, "Sign this contract. We got to pay you because we're going to put wells in here, roads, and everything else. And as far as we're concerned, we don't care what you're doing. Like, we're not the DEA. We're not the government. You want to run drugs? Like, that's on you. Like, we don't care. You stay out of our business. We'll stay out of your business. Like, whatever. Like, but if you screw with us, like, as just pointed out several times, like, you don't know who you're messing with. Like, you guys think you're scary. Like, they will send, like, tier 1 operators and just wipe you out. Like, who won't think twice about it, because they're essentially, oil, it's an oil company. So they are, for better or worse, intertwined with the government in a lot of ways, because, as Billy Bob points out, I think it's the third episode, third episode, he explains what all oil's used in. And he's just like, look, it's in everything. Like, people have no idea what they just think about gas. Like, it's in everything. He's just talking about like wind turbines, and he's telling the woman, like, if you think Exxon, I think Exxon was his example, like, thought that there was any money in those wind turbines, they'd be everywhere from sea to shining sea. He's like, but they know there's not. Like, but they still need oil. Like, they got to be winterized. They need lubricants. They need oil for some of the parts, some of the manufacturing. The diesel you got to burn to make the concrete that you pour that goes 16 feet down to the ground to anchor these 400-foot tall windmills. Just on and on and on. Just all the various things that you actually need oil for. And, above and beyond. Because he's like, it's in everything. He said the problem is going to be that we're going to run out before we find a replacement. And so, yeah. So he knows what business he's in, but also, like, he's not stupid that this train ain't going to last forever. So then on top of that, he has all of his personal problems. Like, his ex-wife is Ally Larder's character, who, seems to want to get back with him. They definitely have a love-hate relationship. You could see how, like, they kind of work, but they were definitely going to implode at some point, just by the way, they bounce off each other. And they've got a couple kids. The daughter is getting ready to go to college, and the son dropped out of college and is starting to work in the oil fields, and his dad's trying to tell him, like, look, you're going to get killed out here doing this. And so, yeah, and then they talk a lot about, like, the kinds of people this job attracts, and there's a lot of insights into this kind of work, but also, just all kinds of the drama, like the great character acting going on. There's a lot happening in this show. So I definitely recommend it, especially if you got Paramount Plus, because I think that's the only streaming service it's on. I think could be mistaken on that, but I watched it because I saw a few clips on YouTube and the YouTube Shorts here, and yeah, like I saw a couple Billy Bob's rants on there, and I was like, all right, I got to check this out. I didn't realize season 1 wasn't over yet, so yeah, that's like I said, 4 maybe 5 episodes in. It's all pretty good. Try to do a wrap up probably at the end of the season. The episodes come out on Sundays, so it'll be sometime in January. Yeah, it should be sometime in January. And yeah, I don't know, after that I might watch Tulsa King. That sounds pretty good. I like Stallone. So anyway, definitely check it out. But like I said, this is the kind of show that, like, maybe, like, if you liked Breaking Bad, you would like this show. If you like some of the dramas on HBO, just realize that unlike those, you're not following a criminal, or, I mean, he's not arrested yet. Like, they're definitely, like, sidestepping a bunch of things. But, you're not following someone who's overtly evil. Because, like, whenever the guys got blown up, he advised to John Hamm's character, like, hey, look, when you give these guys some money, like, when you give their families money, like, they're they lost loved ones. It's the right thing to do. Sends a message to everyone else that we've got their back, so they'll work for us. And it's actually one of the lawyers that's trying to kind of screw him over. And so, everyone else is like, hey, these guys work for us. Like, they're part of the family here, essentially. Like, we got to take care of them. And John Hamm was going along with it. He hasn't struck me so far as the, like, just ruthlessly, stupidly evil type. Like, obviously, he's probably willing to do some shady things because, you don't become that kind of wealthy without having the occasional questionable moral moment. So... anyway, like I said, definitely worth checking out. Not the usual kind of thing we talk about on here, like I said, but it's pretty good. So if you got, I think about an hour for each episode, it's I think 5 hours now. If you get you caught up, and like once it starts rolling, like you'll go through it pretty quickly, I think. So let me know down in the comments if you've seen it, if you're gonna check it out, if you're seeing this video down the road somewhere. If you have watched it since then, let me know what you thought about it. If the season is over by that point, let me know what you thought about it. But yeah, all that down there in the comments. I always appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. Sharing and commenting are the things that helps grow the channel the most, as near as I can tell from the algorithm. I don't know. I don't think anyone actually knows. Minor side note. For those of you who don't have channels of your own, if you don't get these videos, I constantly get bombarded by like, here's how to grow your channel videos. And I get conflicting advice all of the time. Turn this thing off, turn this thing on, do this, don't do this, make shorts. No, shorts are screwing your channel over. And sometimes even from the same people. Like, I don't think anyone actually knows what the hell's going on here. So, anyway, yeah, that's about all I got. Till next time, see you folks later.